Meeting in a hearing session at 5:30 p.m. Monday, August 28, 2023, in the Administration Building, Boardroom 613-B, West Zavala Street, Cruz City, Texas. And I proceeded to the agenda. At this time, calling the meeting to order. And what time is it, ma'am?
It is 5:32.
5:32 p.m. Item 2, roll call and establishment of a quorum.
Mr. Victor Bonilla, the third.
Present.
Mr. Reyes Espinosa.
Here.
Mr. Cruz Mata. Absent. I'm sorry, I'm going down. Mr. Sam Houston, absent. Mrs. Nora Flores Guerrero, absent. Mrs. Peggy Young, present. Mr. Gabriel Espinosa.
Here. For the record, we do have a quorum. Let's go to item 3, moment of reflection. Okay, item 4, at this time, we are commencing the public hearing for proposed budget and tax rate. Is there anything that we say to the public, ma'am?
Mr. Cepeda will be presenting the proposed budget.
Good evening, Board President, members of the board, the public. I'm going to take these two items as they are on our agenda. We'll go over the public hearing on the budget and then go into the tax rate. So before you, you have our proposed budget for the 23-24 school year. You'll see at the very top our projected revenues.
What you looking at?
Which one of these should we look at first?
This one here.
Yes, ma'am. So at the very top, we have proposed our projected revenues, state intermediate sources, our state programs, and then our federal revenues. So we have our total revenues projected to be at $27,854,890. In projecting our budget, one of the very first things that I do is I meet with all of the campus principals, and I get their proposed budget from 1 year to the next. We do compare what they projected last year and their actual expenditures, and then we project our projected expenditure for the following school year. They bring with them their campus improvement plan, telling us exactly where they want some of their funds budgeted. So I first meet with every single principal, I meet with every single director in the district, and we go item by line item all the way through their entire budget. It is important that we hear and we listen to their needs, because a budget is never produced and never created in isolation.
Okay.
After we go through the entire budget, line item by line item, I then enter their proposed budget in our business information system, which is a sender. We enter that data.
Right there. Look what I put right there. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. We enter that data, and then I come up with their budget based on a function, because on a function is where you all as board members will approve our budget. One of the big tasks that we have is also calculating expenditures for our entire personnel, our entire staff. At our last board meeting, Ms. Briones gave a presentation regarding our compensation packet. And that data is also entered into our software. And then a budget is created at the function level. So we need to make sure we also make sure that we account for our big ticket items, which are our debt service. Our debt services are, like at home, our mortgages, mortgage payments that we have to pay on a yearly basis. Our electricity, our water, our software commitments that we have. In order for us to be successful in putting everything together and giving you all board report on a monthly basis. So this budget is put together by the campus principals, by our directors, executive directors, and as a team, putting down all of our fixed expenditures. If you take a look at it, our revenues at the top, the 27 million, equal our projected expenditures for next year. One of the things that I also took into account here are some of our projects that we currently have and we haven't finished, and I need to budget the balance for those things. I'll give you an example. The security fencing that you all approved. Well, that security fencing, we've paid for a large amount of it, but there's still a balance in there. So I need to carry that balance over to the next school year, and that is included in there.
How much?
We currently have about 600,000.
And we have to put in
And we
the,
have to put it in there.
What is our percent of our total salaries, of our budget? What percent of our budget is salaries?
It's about it's about 75 to 76% of our entire budget are salaries. So when you think about it at a budget point of view, the other remaining big items is our debt service. That's 3.7 million. So when we really take a look at it, we only have a few amount of dollars that we can spread around the campuses, particularly our students. So one of the things that we do is we take a look when we have special education funds. We have X amount of dollars that the state gives us, and then we pay for all of our staff. Well, the remaining, what we do is we account for every student, special ed student that is going to be at each campus next year. And we divide those funds by the number of students, special ed students at each campus to make it equitable. The same thing goes through with our state compensatory funds. Our state compensatory funds, we pay for all of our staff, and whatever is left, we take a look at all of our students that are economic disadvantage, and we spread those funds according to the number of students that are at that campus who are economic disadvantaged. GT, bilingual education, all of those funds, we distribute them equitably around the entire student population.
But because we have to bring people in from the outside for our sped services, that takes up a lot of our kids' sped money, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. And if in there, you'll see a line item towards the very bottom that says contracted services.
Yes.
We have a line item specifically for that. And then we also have contracted services for those staff members, like you said, Ms. Young, who come over and provide services to our special ed students. So all of those things are taken into consideration whenever we create a budget. We always.
I have a question, sir. Based on the number of students that we have in GT, that we have economic disadvantage, migrant, which I know now is very little.
Yes.
One, do we get enough money for those kids, or we have to put from our fund balance or the local budget, or?
The answer is, does the state, your question is, does the state give
Or
us
the
enough
federal,
funds?
or the federal government?
The state never gives us enough money. No. We always have to supplement with our local money on 199. And we also have to supplement with our grants, our Idea B and our Idea B formula pre-K. So those grants go into making sure, like you said, to provide those additional services for our students to be successful. And in making sure that our budget is in compliance with not only local, state, but also federal rules and regulations, we need to make sure that we're in compliance with the maintenance of effort.
Another question, I think some of the administrators at the district level in the campuses, because I hear them say, government already ran out of money for special ed. Well, special ed or Title I students, they might be migrants. So not only do they have the special ed money, they can also get some money from
Of
Title
course,
I.
definitely. So let's suppose that I am a student at one of your campuses, and I happen to be special ed. I happen to be economic disadvantage, and I happen to be GT. Well,
You can.
yes, we will feed those monies into those programs accordingly by the number of students that they have at each campus. A very good question. That is, you supplement all of the program with all of the special populations at each and every
Yeah,
school.
because sometimes I hear them, well, I mean, I already spent all my special ed money and I don't have any more money. I said, well, I mean, check your budget for Title I. I mean, all of them qualify for Title I.
Oh, yes.
But like you say, it might be GT, it might be a migrant, something where they can get a little extra.
And one of the things that we are going to do again this year, because one of the things that I learned when I first came here is that the principals needed help in learning how to read their budget. Where do you get money to pay for this particular item that you need? And it was very interesting at the very beginning that they didn't know how to read their budget. But we've provided training for them, and we will continue to provide training for them, because you don't learn budgeting in 1 year.
No, the state's gonna change it on you as soon as you think you know it.
Yes, once you think you know it, they change it on you.
Yes, they do.
Yes, so yes, we will continue to provide training to the campus principals, their assistant principals, and anyone who does have access to the budget. So, yes, we produce a solid budget in collaboration with the campuses and the departments, always making sure that the budget that we're going to provide to you is a balanced budget. Any questions on the budget? Yes, ma'am.
Number 62, is that Education Service Center?
Number 60, yes.
So how come there's no amount there since they do our payroll?
Because for them, we pay for them out of contracted
Okay.
services. Yes.
Okay,
that
so
line
they're a
item-
contract, okay.
So 62 is only specifically used by the 20 service centers around the state of Texas.
Okay.
We can't use that. Now, interestingly, I do want to tell you all that some of these budgets have either increased or decreased. For example, last year, you'll take a look at your function 52, which is security and monitoring. Last year, you remember you all gave us the authority to purchase a lot of equipment for the police department. So they had a very large budget last year. And this year it's come down because we purchased the vehicles for them that they needed and all of the equipment that they need. So now we're only going to maintain those expenditures that we had. The other line item that went down was in facilities, maintenance, and operations. Remember the fencing, the locking of the doors, all of those items, a lot of them we've done. But if you take a look at it, that line item has also decreased. So some have increased. Our instructional line item, which is the very first one, which is 13 million, that one has increased while some of the others have decreased. So it's important that we always take a look at what our needs are each year after year and make sure that we budget accordingly to meet the needs of each and every function within the district.
Is any of the ERSA money here in this budget?
One more time?
Any of the ERSA money that we were receiving is in this budget?
Yes, our ESSER money is included in here. Most of it is going to be in function 35, food service.
Yes, sir?
Some of our ESSER money is going to go in there.
What is the amount we have right now?
Right now, we currently have about 3 million
3 million.
left. And that's it. We don't have any more. And this is the last year that we're doing this. So we will no longer have any money in it.
What is the federal revenue that we don't have to adopt in our budget?
Yes, those are our ESSER funds and our grants. Those do not have to, I include them in here so that we have a balanced budget.
Why does ESSER money have to go into our food service program?
It doesn't have to, but we currently do have some of it in there. It is an allowable expense that we can have.
But for what? I mean, what does it cover?
For salaries, for some of our
We
salaries.
have ESSER people, ESSER monies?
That's already thing, right?
Yeah, all school districts utilize the ESSER funds in food service, maintenance and operations,
Can't.
transportation, some of those areas, because the ESSER funds did not have that stipulation for supplement, not supplant. That the ESSER funds were the only federal funds that did not have to follow those rules. All the others, your ESSA grant, your idea B, all of those grants do have to follow those rules. The ESSER funds did not have to. For that reason, we were able to do that.
Sir, and we have to spend them this year, otherwise we lose them.
Yes.
Well, if they're going for salaries, they have to.
Yes, they do.
Is there any way we can give stipend to staff out of those 3 million?
I'll be honest with you guys. I have really looked at this really tight, and I don't think we're going to be able to do that this year. I don't think so.
So where is all the rest of the 3 million going?
Pardon?
Where is the rest of the 3 million going besides food service?
Within the other functions, providing support services for the students, making sure that we have, some of it is going into transportation. Some of it is going into special ed. Always making sure that our special ed, your regular state and local fund always meet the maintenance and operations regulations for that. So we do have some of those monies embedded within those departments.
Sir, do we need to provide the rest of the information to the public that's here, the listed here? Ma'am? Do we need to provide this information to the public? The rest of the
Do you have
information?
copies?
Okay?
No, just verbally. So he's making a presentation about the tax rate.
He's looking at the budget first before he moves on to tax rate.
We're running out of time.
Let me give you a copy of this. This is our budget.
No, but he's referring to the tax rate floated.
On the tax rate, yeah, we can provide that to them also. Yes. But yes, always making sure that we follow local policy, state rules, and federal rules and regulations when we produce the budget for you.
So I read that the state is going to send us, is that 15,000 per campus or 15,000 per district?
Per campus for the,
Security.
So for the security, state security.
So we can expect that like in September, October?
Hopefully, yes, that's not included in here because we haven't received it yet.
Okay, yeah, we have it. And
Yes.
so we'll get that amount for each campus.
For each campus.
Okay.
Yes.
In the public
Remember
hearing.
last year?
Yes.
Remember last year we received 200,000
Yeah.
for the entire district? Well, this year. we're
Greatly
gonna-
reduced.
Yeah, we're gonna get 15,000 per campus. And that's not included in here. So once it comes in, then we'll bring it up to the board.
Okay. And so we still don't know yet what kind of allotment we'll be getting from TEA, right?
For our teachers. Not yet, because that is a referendum that's gonna go before.
No. I mean, we don't know, I don't know the correct word to use, like what TEA sends us to operate on. The amount of money,
Yes, we have our state.
state program revenues,
Yes,
okay.
that is our projected revenue for next year from the state.
And that's included in all of this.
Yes, I mean, and everything in here, yes.
So what percent are we estimating our local revenue? Usually we've been going, what, 93% compared to attendance?
This right now, in our local revenue is probably about 50%. Of our,
Compared to last year, what would you say that is?
very close to that,
Very close?
very close to that, yes, ma'am. As I compare it to our state and federal grant, if I compare it just simply to our state, then it would be about 75% of our total budget, local compared to state only.
So, Mr. Cepeda, after we do our final budget amendment, the final one where we pay for everything we spent after we adopted the budget last year, what will our fund balance be?
Good questions. I knew you were going to bring that one up. So, with our final budget amendment, we will have close to about, we have about 1.4 million dollars.
And you stated that.
Okay?
Is that less our reserves? You've already taken the reserves out? Because we have to have 4 months reserve, 3
No,
months?
that's included with our reserve. So with our last amendment we're going to do, we're going to have a balance of about anywhere between 1.4, 1.8, and that's it. But
I don't get you. We're gonna have a reserve or carryover or what?
yeah, that's gonna be our fund balance that we have based on the original budget that you all approved last year, plus the additional funds that you all allocated from the fund balance for the fencing and for the scoreboard, right?
So with that, I mean, what is our fund balance?
So we're gonna have about anywhere between 1.4 and 1.8 million dollars remaining. But I need to inform you all very specifically that 1.3 million of that are our revenues that go to our food service. And our food service, those are very specific funds that need to be kept in food service. They cannot go into our general fund.
So I'm confused. What will our operating fund be when you take the food service and all of that? Are we in trouble in food service?
No,
Okay.
no, we haven't. In fact, we have too much money. That's
Okay,
why
because
we
you keep
have-
talking about food, okay.
Yeah.
Why are we using our some money for the food program?
One more time?
Why are we using ERSA money for the food?
For food service.
Because you said, I mean, you're saying right now, there's a lot of money, but then you're saying we have to use some other ERSA money to.
Okay, sir, if I may, I think, we might be missing the point, maybe I'm missing the point.
Yes, sir.
All right, sir, to clarify, right now, without any adjustments, what is the current fund balance that we have right now?
I don't have access to that right now, because we moved some money from the last year's fund balance into current operation expenditures.
But that's important that we know when we.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm not talking about this, adjustment that you're gonna
The
recommend.
total fund balance, what is it?
The total fund balance, what is it right now? Now, I know that to that, we're looking at the current budget,
Correct.
right? And after we're done with with the amendments, et cetera, we're gonna have we're gonna be balanced, or we're gonna have money left over, or we're gonna be short money.
We're gonna have a little bit of money left over to go into fund balance.
Okay, you add the money to the fund balance, so what is the estimated fund balance that we're gonna start with in the new budget? Just the fund
Or
balance.
that we have there, I mean.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't have that information with me.
Well, that's very important.
Can you get that to us very quickly? Because, I mean, because we're gonna have to adopt,
What?
Our audit from last year.
I don't even know.
I don't know when you're gonna bring it to us, but it seems like September, October, we have to sign that agreement that we vote on to send to TEA where we are agreeing that we're sending, or we're keeping so much in reserve. I think you bring it to us in September or October.
We're gonna go past 6 o'clock.
It's not?
I'd have to get our last year's audit.
Okay, so what I'm gonna ask is that, being that we do have a time constraint, that get us the information, you can email it to all the board members, because I know how important that is to write. And we need to know way before, October, so we can have that information. But
Well, by the time you send this into TEA, you'll know what the fund balance is, right? By the time you submit it all to TEA, it has to be in there by what, the end of September, the middle of September?
In October.
Okay.
It has to be there, yes.
So, yes, you can do that,
Is there any way, I mean, we can find out today, because, I mean,
Yeah, I think Mr. Leone was gonna go and take a look at our financial report that we had last year.
honestly,
I have
I mean,
calculators.
we have a healthy fund balance, I mean, which.
Or if we don't have, we need to know what we're looking at?
No, or if we have a healthy fund balance, maybe we can, from there, I mean, give a stipend to the staff, and with the interest, we can put it back next year. That's the way we've done it in the past. But right now, you're not, and the first thing that we always ask, what is our fund balance? I mean, because we don't want to get in trouble. What is it, the number of months that TEA requires?
It's 4, right?
4 months. We want to make sure that we're not in that, I mean, having problems with that, because we make sure we pay our teachers, but then how much more?
Okay.
So I would like, before the meeting's over,
Definitely.
before we vote on the budget, to,
Sure. Yeah.
we can do that, you can have that information by the time we vote
Yeah.
on it.
So you want us to go into our presentation?
Sure, you're gonna have to speed it up, but yes, I think our public, because I know what this has been viewed, being shown, right? They would like to know what is, the proposed tax rate that's being recommended, situated with property values, et cetera.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Is it this one or has it been changed?
Oh, that's the same one. You have that?
We already
We have it in the attached to our agenda.
Let's make sure that you have this one. You have this one?
No, I've never seen this one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is kind of critical, so we'll know what we're getting from.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks.
Everybody.
Comparing our tax rate, one of the most important information that we need comes from our appraisal district. And the great thing about our appraisal district is, of course, I wrote someone that works there here today with us. But the calculation of our tax rate is based on our tax revenue, our exemptions, our projected projects that are being developed in the Sonata County. We take a look at this year specifically. We calculate our tax rate based on our $40,000 exemption and our $100,000 exemption.
Which is all subject to change in November.
Yes. So all of this information that we get from the Zavala County Appraisal District is entered into our 2023 tax rate calculation worksheet. And the amount of funds that we collect, and those reports are provided to us by the Zavala County Appraisal District on a monthly basis, and is provided to you all for review. So we put all of those values that are in this document. That is provided to us by the Zavala County Appraisal District is entered into our worksheet. It's a very lengthy document, but it's very detailed. And one of the great things about this calculation worksheet is that at the very end of the worksheet, it provides us with our proposed tax rate for both M&O, which is our mains and operations, and interest and sinking. And that document will then produce our notice of the public meeting with our proposed tax rate.
This one right here.
Yes, ma'am. That we have to provide notice to the public for this particular meeting. So, in preparation for this, you'll take a look at the very first of our budget and proposed tax rate document. It gives us our maintenance tax rate, which is 0.675300. That's for our tax rate for our maintenance and operations. and our interest in sinking will be 0.288657. That information is entered into this template so that we can provide to the public our tax rates for next year. One of the interesting things that our legislators have not yet corrected is the fact that if you take a look at our maintenance and operations tax rate and our interest and sinking tax rate for this coming school year is lower than last school year. But because our legislators have not fixed the wording in the law that passed regarding our maintenance and operations and interest and sinking tax rate, they still refer to this, even though it is lower, they refer to it as an increase. Why have our legislators not fixed it? I don't know yet. This is the second year that this has happened. I was hoping that during one of the special legislative sessions that they will be having, I was hoping that they would fix this, but they have not. So our proposed tax rate for the 23-24 school year for maintenance and operations is 0.675300. Our taxes for the interest and sinking is 0.288657. That is a total tax rate of 0.963957. If you compare that tax rate to last year it was 1.143257. So it is an actual decrease, but because our legislators have not fixed the wording in the legislative tax proposal, it's considered an increase. I just wanted to make sure that we're transparent with these documents. These figures come from our Zavala County Appraisal District. We enter those into our worksheet, and in our worksheet, we produce our notice to the public. It is a lot of work. We do preliminary work before our confirmed and certified tax values. Back in June, we do get these tax reports from the Zavala County Appraisal District, and we do start working on these, but we cannot produce it until it is finalized, which is after July.
And the amount that's being proposed is the amount that we would need to provide the proper revenue for maintenance and operations.
Yes, sir.
Okay, because the debt service is gonna stay the same no matter what.
Yes.
We have a fixed amount there. Okay.
So you were asking,
Is there any other information you want to share with the public, sir?
one more item, and that is you all were asking about what our current fund balance would be for our budget. Okay, our current balance is about 8.8 million. 8.8 million.
And so then we take the 4 months reserve that we tell TEA that we're holding for emergencies.
That is correct, and that's about 4.5 million. Yes, ma'am.
So,
Can we reserve any other questions concerning the budget when we come to the budget item in open session? I think that'd be the best thing.
so what's the 14, on that page, the 14,295 on the, balance?
He's looking at 4,000 at the bottom.
Oh, those are our total liabilities, referred inflow, inflow and everything combined with our fund balances.
But that's not a total that we have of 14.
No.
That's why, if I may, sir, that's why I was asking,
Yeah.
we can keep reserve those
Yeah.
questions for the budget
Yeah.
meeting, because we are doing an open, a public meeting, and I believe our public would like to know about the tax rate and what we need to meet our, the revenues for maintenance and operations. Everybody understands that the debt service stays the same. So are we done with that service? Sir?
Yes, sir.
There's no other questions at this time. I'm entertaining item 5, adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I move, sir.
Made by member, to adjourn. Is there a second? Second. Second made by San Houston, member San Houston.
Cruz Mata.
Oh, Cruz Mata?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, sir. I was relying on vision. Okay, VP Cruz Mata. Sorry, sir. I didn't see it. Okay, let's go ahead and take a vote. All those in favor, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, motion passes 7-0. And the time is? 6:13 PM.